Making a video. Yeah, it happens again. Having a very off day. Whatever. Guts. I'd like to replace the guts with some other kind of instrumentation. Yeah, a little 2-cycle motor or something. But anyway, I'm gonna live with them, I suppose. Anyway, yeah, so Shaka Lemonade guy, who's really quite an interesting fellow, did comment on the fact, well, I made a video about it actually, that there's a parallel, between antinatalism and the short story, The Lottery, which I remember reading in, I don't know, 9th grade, I don't know, something like that. Maybe it was even, no, probably 6th grade, 7th, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, and I just, it's one of those stories where you're just like, well, fuck, this is fucked up. Nobody go for this. People are assholes, but yeah, they're not going to throw rocks at each other. But then when you think about it, I was thinking like Joan of Arc is sort of an interesting story. This is just like, it just doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, we live in a, more modern culture where, women aren't pedestalized quite as much. But the whole idea of stoning a woman for demonstrating courage and bravery and a will to fight for her people, that whole Inquisition bullshit of obliging people to save their life by lying, it's just so obnoxious. And you're just saying, how do they pull that off? I mean, how do you burn a woman for committing no crime? I mean, it's almost like the Muslim nuts. And you're like, how the fuck can they do that? I mean, well, it's just so brutal, so obnoxiously, disgustingly, insanely sadistic for these non-crimes. And so then you say, well, yeah, maybe they just like to throw stones. So maybe the flaw in The Lottery was just that they should have, I mean, it's a short story. I mean, I would have maybe written it that everybody has a boner for it. Like all the men have erections and they just can't wait to throw rocks at somebody. Like they just can't wait to do the bloodletting because they can evacuate their sadomasochism, their desire to strangle something with their anger or their frustration at having such small penises or something. Some sort of reason why they would get off on this violence for the sake of violence. And so they just find an excuse. They create a lottery so they have an excuse to do the bloodletting. And maybe it would have made more sense to me if you showed them gleefully throwing their rocks and, a little bit of a little orgasming going on as they watch the blood, pour from the victim's head, or they fed on the fear. I mean, serial killers do that. They really feed, not so much on the death, but they feed on the terror. They like terrorizing somebody. They like to see them afraid. And yeah, maybe that's what this is partly about. But anyway, the point I really wanted to get to was the idea of this as a metaphor. The idea that you could just say, another way of looking at this, ignore the psychology, ignore, oh, it would never be like that because people aren't that silly. Is just to accept the fact that that's sort of what we're doing in life, though, is that disease and bad luck and stupid circumstance will impose harm and death on people routinely. Every fucking day it happens. It'll happen every year of your life. Something tragic will happen to you or the people you give a fuck about. And we accept this as the lottery. We accept this as the price of life. That we will show up, so to speak, quote unquote, metaphorically, to watch this spectacle, to participate in it even, to celebrate the birth of a new victim. As we could have full knowledge of what it will face, that someday it will draw the the spot in the lottery, and that it will be the next victim. With all that implicates, with all the horror of a child having to watch it. I don't want to get into personal stories, but yeah, I saw that a little. All the incidental damages done. It isn't just the victim, their pain, but all the incidental suffering that revolves around their pain. And all the pain caused by their pain. And the incidental pain caused by that pain. And how it has this cascade of such a loud echo that the echo becomes part of the real voice because the echo is so loud. It is almost as if it was the first sound. So as a metaphor, it really does work in the sense that silently, this is what's going on in our circumstance. We are accepting a lottery. We are accepting participation in a game that contains this element of gross chance, just bad luck of the draw. And we are witnessing and watching. And then we go back to our little lives, back to our stores, and back to our washing of the dishes and vacuuming of the rugs and petting of the cat, as if no horror took place. We'll have our moment of, ooh, my, she sure did scream loud. Oh my, I got blood on my shirt. And then, we'll walk it off, as Pyro would say. We'll just walk it off. We'll buck up. We'll quit whining and go back to droning like a bunch of body-snatched, podlings. Yeah, you really are. It really is Valley of the whatever. What was the name of it? The Body Snatchers. You're all imitating a human being. You're not being one. Yeah. Ha ha, I ridiculed you. Yeah. But it's true. You are the Borg. Just face it, you people. You defenders of the DNA. You defenders of the unacceptably unacceptable. You talk and you empathize, and yet you do nothing. You won't utter those words. It is not acceptable. Acceptance is not an option. But no, we're not going there. That sort of reminds me, I hate to change the subject in the middle of the video, but what the hell? Because I really don't want to make a separate video on this subject. But there's been all these London riots. And a lot of people have made videos. I haven't seen them all. But I assume they're basically saying the same thing. Oh, these hoodlums, they're just capitalizing on a bad circumstance. Blah, 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 blah. But what I see is such a joke. Because these riots have exactly as much substance and merit as the riots that took place in Libya or the riots in Syria. They're just as empty. And the only difference is that our civilized nations are willing to pay the rioters to burn more cars and to shoot politicians. Yeah, shoot the government. Kill your president. So why don't we pay the rioters in London? I think our CIA ought to do that. I think it ought to rush over there with some money and pay the rioters, give them a pirate contract for the goodies. They can have the crown jewels and all the rest of that shit if they can take out the prime minister. And game on. Let's foment a revolution and free the British people from the monarchy and their silly politicians. Yeah, let's give them freedom. Or something like that, right? Yeah, let's give their country to a bunch of thugs, like we're doing in the rest of the world. What a cool idea. Yeah. So anyway, hypocrite much. I know most of these people don't support our wars across the world, but it just does smell of such hypocrisy. If any right-wingers whining, about the thugs, when that's all they're supporting in the rest of the world. They're just open season. Hey, pup. What a nice dog. Oh, let's see. Say hello. Yeah, pretty dog. Yeah, golden retrievers. Gotta love them. Anyway, really, it's my favorite breed of dog. Dumb as a fucking post, but I mean, they'll jump on things for you. Like if there's a frog in the path, they'll jump on it. Anyway, where was I? Rioters, yeah. So anyway, I just find that so bogus. But here's just another one of these things where, in one circumstance, like this lottery thing, people go, "Oh, those people are insane. Nobody would get into a lottery just to throw rocks at people for no good reason." And they're just not getting it. That's the game we're in, you fuckwits. It's the same difference, just a different Twilight Zone low-calorie. Low-calorie? Low-calorie, that's pretty good. I like it, low-calorie. Yeah, so you change the time-space dynamic, fiddle with a few dress codes, and it's pretty much exactly what we're doing. When you're endorsing the little community called humanity and its perpetuation, you're just signing all your little kids up for the lottery. You're just signing your neighbors up for their day of doom. And, then there's always going to be the perfectly obnoxious, "I've been in the lottery 77 years. Yes, and so you're arrogant and an asshole. Yeah, because you've gotten lucky. And how many people play that game? Yeah, they don't suffer the worst of it. So of course they're going to endorse the game because they know they've gotten off lucky. Puke. But anyway, I mean, even in the most benign circumstance, even a positive lottery, like a regular town lottery or state lottery, or now country lottery, is just such a lie. And to, commit 6 million tiny murders, okay, to justify the theft perpetrated by one individual, doesn't account to anything. It's a silly, on its face, insanely stupid thing to be doing. And yet people do it. They keep saying it makes sense somehow because it's ours. It's our tradition. It's our bag of bullshit. It's our silly notion. But yeah, this is always the way it is. People are so habitized by culture. Culture does own us in so many respects. I've done it myself. I mean, you lament like some horrible business and it'll close and you're like, oh fuck. Even though it sucked, you just don't want not there anymore. Or even a bad neighbor or some other. It's just like this change is just so unsettling and irritating. There's probably better examples of where you just don't like some tradition broken, even though you can't rationally come up with one excuse for it to continue, beyond the fact that you're comfortable with it, that you've acclimated to it. Acclimating. That's a big fucking juicy word. Acclimation. Yeah. Maybe we should have a board game called Acclimation. Yeah. Because that's all you fuckers are. You're victims of acclimation. You have acclimated to a silly, preposterous, nonsensical circumstance, and you just don't know how to get out of your acclimation problem. Your acclimation psychology. Yeah, but I think if you look inside yourself, okay, you can find the acclimation. You can find the little ball of bullshit that clings you to this world, that clings you to the game, that clings you to the idea of purpose. And that little piece of bullshit is probably going to have something to do with your ego, with feeling like what you have done has been, you've taken the right roads, or you've done your best, or some other bullshit notion in your head that you use to defend your existence. And if you don't keep the acclamation in your head, yeah, you will reveal the fact, oh yeah, I was a moron. And you don't want to look at that. You know, you want to keep it, deluding yourself into thinking, oh, I really always kind of knew what I was doing. I just wasn't doing it until until everybody told me I had to do it. Yeah, but you'll just keep pretending that you were always as brilliant as you are now. Anyway, pitiful. Well, it's not pitiful, it's human. I don't fault you for being human. But yeah, come on. The psychology shit is up. You really can't keep using textbook, cliche, psychological traps and the revealed Freudian banana peels. You just can't keep using them excuses because we do know they're there. So you can't say I slipped on a banana peel like it was an accident. You people aren't having accidents, okay? You're deliberately using excuses to defend bullshit because you can't see life without the bullshit. And it's there. You can still live it. You can still smell the grass and roll in it as long as there's no dog do in it. Yeah, you can still do all that crap. And honor the truth. You really can. So anyway, long video. Fatigued. Yeah. Anyway, till next time. And such.